Hello, everyone. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. We're getting near the end of the day, and so it's time to start winding down. Um, so, in the book that I've been reading, the event, I can't even think of the name of the book right now. I'm tired. It's been a long week. Having to learn how to do something without any training, guesswork, trying to get things in order is very exhausting. Thankfully, I'm starting to get the hang of it, finding everything I need. Anyways, what I was reading today in The Inevitable Apostasy and the Promised Restoration was, and this is something I know, but the Catholic Church suppressed the publication of the Bible into language that the common folk could do, English, for an example. At one time, the scriptures were allowed by everyone, but eventually got to the point where one of the popes made it a crime to own the Bible, much like it is in Russia today. And I believe in China as well. It may be against the law. I don't know. I haven't heard too much about China laws lately. But I know in Russia it's been against the law to own a Bible. Christians are shunned over there. It's almost dead. And so in Rome, it was against the law to own or read the Bible. It was only for specific people, like preachers. Anyone that's in the church itself has a like a bishop and above, I think it was. But that's why it was in Latin, and it was punishable by death. Even the Church of England had it against for the common folk to be able to read one, much less own one. If we think about everything that went into finally creating an English Bible, the Bible had been translated into other languages long before it was translated into English. Boy, Satan really did not want the average person, to be able to read the Bible and understand it for themselves. I don't remember who it was. I think it's Tinsdale or even maybe it was Gutenberg that said, I don't remember who quoted it, but it was that one day a farm boy will know more about the Bible than the priests. Well, a lot of members of the church look at that one as a prophecy, referring to the farm boy who was Joseph Smith. I like to think so, but there's some that say no. But we have noticed since the Bible was translated into English a growth of churches. And it all started with Martin Luther. He wanted the church to return to what he thought the church should be. And when they didn't, he started his own church. And believe it or not, here's a little history fact for you. He is the one that started the teaching of Sola Scriptura. Before Martin Luther, Sola Scriptura did not exist. So, a little food for thought. So, it's amazing that how many churches have come to exist since the very first King James English version of the Bible in 1611. And unfortunately, a lot of, if I remember right, the 1611 edition of the Bible really didn't look how we have it today. One, English was a totally different language. I actually had a book from early 1700s. It's a Catholic book. I bought it because it was fascinating. It was also very hard to read because of how it was written. I kind of wish I still had that book. It wasn't in the best of shape, but that's why I got it so cheap. But it was nice. But since the King James, I know Gutenberg had his English version. There was several other, I think Bishop translation was one of them that existed. And in fact, it's said that the King James version borrowed some from the Bishop version. I'm not too much of a historian in that fact, but with the coming of the Bible to be put in the hands of the common man, God started rolling forth his plan to restore his church. After getting the Bible published in English, the next one is for him to have a country created where freedom of speech and freedom of religion was one of the top priorities of the country. And so he inspired people like the Pilgrims. And I know the Pilgrims came much earlier. Christopher Columbus, he was prophesied in the Book of Mormon, as was Revolutionary War, us winning our freedom from the Brits. And then once the government was official, it wasn't even 100 years. Maybe a little over 100 years before Joseph Smith was born. So, and that farm boy, whether Christians want to admit to it or not, that farm boy changed Christianity forever. Started on a path of the restoration, started the research into ancient church history. He didn't start it himself, but people started paying attention more to the early church fathers. This is my opinion. I don't have facts, so don't sit there and argue with me. But nowadays, it's common knowledge, at least from videos I've seen, where people are admitting that there was an apostasy. There's a few that don't think so. But let me ask you a question if you're one of them. If there was no apostasy, why are you the church that you belong to? You're Baptist, you're Evangelist, Presbyterian, Evangelist, Jehovah's Witness. If you belong to those churches, why don't you belong to the Catholic Church or the Eastern Orthodox Church or the Greek Orthodox Church? Because you guys didn't, because at one point your leaders who started your church didn't agree with the Catholic Church and thought they could do better, which means that they viewed the church as apostate. And as a Catholic priest once told a representative from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at a meeting of religious organizations, he said, "You Mormons are fools. You don't even know your own position in Christianity." Well, the representative from the church looked down and says, "What do you mean?" He says, if you are the true church," no, what the exact words was, "if we are the true church, then all the mainstream Christian churches are apostate from us. But if you are the true church, then they are apostates with us from the true faith." So, in other words, what he was saying is either the Catholic Church is the true church or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the true church. All these little people that we now know as mainstream Christians, well, excuse the terminology, but they don't got a pot to piss in. They don't have the history that the Catholic Church does, nor do they have the revelations and the visions and and everything that the Latter-day Saint Church has. So the only possible true churches, according to this Catholic priest, is the Catholic Church or the Mormon Church, the Latter-day Saint Church. So those are the only ones. And that's from a Catholic priest. That was pretty impressive. I'm getting a little long again. I need to learn how to make these short. My journal entries don't need to be a book, just a short chapter for today. So you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy your tomorrow. It's Thursday. We got one more day, by the time you see this video, today is Thursday, and we only have to survive today and tomorrow, and the weekend is here. So you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tonight or tomorrow.